The greatest feeling in the world was holding my own gun. I'm hypertensive, but all my decisions been wholesome. My independence had me flipping on siblings I stole from. Said I'm just big and loud. Well, £1/2 pound is my silent treatment. I punched out plugs I could've stopped from eating. Jackie Gleason on the TV while his mama's sleeping. That plate was made, or he got that chick filleted like she Polynesian.
The fucking niggas do to me though. So I stand there blinded while my jewelry glow.
That's all it is. You just do the math. You solve one problem and you solve the next.
Look at the round table. Look at the Jay-Z dead president round table.
The dead presidential was you.
Yeah.
In the barbershop.
Even though that was Jay's video, Big still called that out. You understand what I'm saying? And reached out to.
Right. Everybody made sure the head captains at the time was at this table.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But prior to that video shoot, the conversation was taking place, right? I was never in a room with nobody else other than Big. I can't even remember who else. I'm assuming, I'm gonna just assume Little C's because he was always with him, right? But they used to come through and check us. Shouts to Junior Mafia, shouts to Junior Mafia. Right. So that conversation happened a few times. And then we went on, we did the Ready to Die promo tour. And we was doing spot dates. So we would meet in South Carolina, then come back. We'd go up here and be in New York and fucking Rochester. And then we'd come back and meet him in North Carolina and do some. So that's what it was. But the flair was dope. The flair, the energy was great. We had a dope show at Club Images in North Carolina in Fayetteville one night. One night we went up there, we opened up, shit was packed to the gills. We tore shit down. Little Mo, met Little Mo in there. Shouts to Little Mo. She was Monique at the time. We tore the stage up. Big came out, tore the house down, and then he called us back on stage so we can freestyle and shit. We closed the show out. Everybody, me, him, Trigga, somebody else maybe. Freestyle and close out the show. Somebody got that motherfucking tape somewhere.
Did y'all ever have like battles and stuff like that at that time? Like, I mean, obviously there's street battles and stuff. You battle neighborhood cats or whatever. But as far as with Big and Junior Mafia and all these other elements of rappers that were highly competitive at the time, did y'all ever have like ciphers where y'all battle?
Oh, we had ciphers, plenty of ciphers. Yeah. That was my thing right there. Right. I had ciphers with everybody. It wasn't a crew that I didn't have a cipher with.
Right.
And I mean,
what was the most like the most intense, the one that stood out, like, yo, this one right here is for the
one stood out for me is with just me and X.
You and DMX?
Yeah.
God bless. Oh, well, shit, shouts to X.
Tell us about that.
Rest in peace, DMX.
I mean, some of them don't even know Trey got a record with DMX.
Crazy. Put it out?
Nah, I never.
Nah, he never put it out. Never put it out. You know, but he got a record with him. Shit, go. What is it?
It's called a heist.
Yeah, it's called.
I'd rather hear it. I'd rather you put it out.
We'll let you hear it off.
Somebody leaked it on YouTube. It's up there.
Oh yeah.
So how was that battle?
I mean, it was dope. I mean, I went up there. Def Jam had me go meet up with him. That's when he was coming to Def Jam. They was doing artist development for him. And we were just going up there. They wanted me to listen to his songs and just see where he was at, just musically,
This is before.
This is the first album.
Okay, this is
They wasn't even paying attention to. Let's be real. They wasn't paying attention. They wasn't paying attention to X. Let's be real. So I love X. X pushed from Get At Me Dog on his own. Like they went to the tunnel and shot that independent. Then when that dropped, Def Jam paid attention to it afterwards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you had to do the legwork. You had to do the legwork.
Me and X, we had long talks, like sitting there, like going over his music and stuff like that before the album dropped and everything. And he used to just be like, Trey, they ain't gonna understand me. I just came from this other label. They ain't understand me. And I'm like, nah, they got more artists over here that understand hip hop, that knows what you're saying. You understand what I'm saying? So he took that, and he was just always just humble with his music, with his stuff, but he was aggressive. And that's what I loved about him, just sitting there going back and forth with him. we sat in there. There was just management in there and his production, Wise and all of them was in there. Big up Rafiq and them. They was there as our management. His management was there. And we was in there for about at least like 8-9 hours.
God,
you know what I'm saying? So we was going back and forth for at least about 2-3 hours just in the room, just so we could learn each other. That's what we was doing. We was learning each other. He didn't know nothing about me. I didn't know anything about him. I wanted to hear his flows. He wanted to hear mine. And all we was doing was switching flows up while we was rhyming. And he was like, God damn, how many flows you got, dog? And
what was crazy, because we had met them prior in Yonkers. My man had a store in the square, and you know he was a hustler, and he produced one of my records called Glocks on Cotton. It was the only record on the album that DR produced.
Kenny G.
And my man Kenny G, God rest him. And they was throwing a show up there. They said, oh, yo, this group from up here, yo, they call it Warlock Show, and boom, yo, these niggas is the shit, blah, blah, blah. And we like, all right, you know, we from wherever.
And it was Darkman X.
Darkman X, yeah.
It was Darkman X and the Warlock.
They got up there, they got busy.
Yeah,
they got busy. They tore
got
down and all that shit. I said, oh, all right, these some motherfuckers from Yonkers. Okay, we're gonna have to, you know, get in our bag and get busy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we was never scared of competition.
And big up to them too.
Shout out to the Locks, man.
Right after that show, we went outside and we was freestyling. Everybody was freestyling. There was so many people going at them. They was going back and forth. We stood on the side for a second, watched for a minute, then we was like, all right, we out. You know, just breaking out because the crowd was just getting a little too crazy.
Is this before? After you signed the Def Jam?
This before. Way before Def Jam.
Way before.
What see, with this level, what most people will hear with this level of success that you're having, touring on your own, making records on your own, you self-contained. DR Period is coming up with some of the best beats at that time in that era. Period. Hands down. The man, everything he touches is like a classic record that still keeps ringing off. It wouldn't seem like you had to go and sign to a major.
But you know what? At those times, the way the machines were set up, you had to go that way. Or it was
going to be drowned. Yeah,
it was just what it is.
Is that so?
Let's just be real with it. It's just
listen. Let me tell you something. You know, you independent, you creating, you carving a niche. Because this is what happened. I'm gonna just tell you what happened.
Big business.
You carve a niche with your own paper and your own blood, sweat, and tears. Right? You just said from the beginning of this conversation that Def Jam picks up an artist from who has already created came from something that was already established. From however it got established.
We was number one. Broken Language. I was number one with Smoothe.
We ain't even get to Broken Language.
We ain't get there yet. But again, right. But again, as far as carving that niche, artist development and all that, you know, they wasn't just saying, hey, you got a deal, and then now you're just on stage and all that shit. It's like phases you got to go through. You know, that's how a lot of motherfuckers get signed and then come out and they don't know what to do, how to move, and they get caught up and get all fucked up and trapped up, right? But getting back to them, yeah, they fed off of what the niche that we created, right? They didn't sign us. They didn't sign me, but they said, oh shit, it is a lane for hustling. It is a lane for this guy to say crack and drugs and all that shit, because we couldn't say that shit on the radio. We was just talking about that shit. Back in the days, you couldn't say none of that shit. Before the interview, they'd be like, yo, don't say this. Don't say
give
that.
You a list.
You can't say this.
Or what you can't say.
You know.
It's all around. Look around you, man. You can find inspiration. You can find discouragement. It all depends on you. Perception is everything. Some people just hear another song. Some people hear the greatest. A nigga used to have no chill. Nowadays I bump side A. Traffic going bumper to bumper, stuck on the highway.